everybody, it's back to the original time slot for 1 week because I'll be on vacation next Thursday. But hello, it's the What If Roundtable, back to action on a Thursday, temporarily. I am joined by Sophie B.
Hello.
And Haverock will be joining us in a little bit. He's just going to be a little late, but he will be with us very, very shortly. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the What If Roundtable, and this is where you can leave a super chat to help support the channel, as well as get your what ifs answered and talked about by our fine folk. And you know that we always pay attention to the stuff that goes on in the chat, so elements of what you say might be happening. And also, I can talk about like something that happened in the Guinea livestream that we did last night. Basically, I am doing a part 0 of Guinea's What If, and that will come out on Monday. So, those of you who've been wanting Guinea X Bardock stuff about how they got together in this What If universe, you can expect it there. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So that's a bonus video on Monday. Well, all right. So all you need to do is leave a super chat with whatever question or what if that you have in mind, and then we'll read them out to you. So let's get things kicked off with Papa PODO. What if instead of being universes made up by the DB writers, the other universes in the TOP were the other most popular shonen universes? Oh, so it's basically like Jump Force, isn't it? So
well, yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. For the most part, it sounds like that just pretty much boils down to a Jump Force scenario.
Yeah, I mean, if that were the case, then I probably would imagine if there was a Giorno Giovanna in the JoJo team, then, like, Golden Experience Requiem would just wreck everybody. Because basically, their powers is basically turning anything into nothing. So basically, attack you did, no, it didn't happen. So people would just kind of be stuck in where they're going. So a lot of the stand users they'd be susceptible to physical attacks, but as long as they exhibited the technique of Gohan by just staying in the central pillar and had their stands to protect them, I think they'd be alright. Depends on whether they have the mix of range and close quarter people. So that's the main thing. And speaking of another JoJo thing, we have from Auto Johnny. What if the Z Fighters had Hamon or stands? Well, I personally think that Goku would be one of these people that would also fight and also have their stands fighting at the same time. But it really kind of depends on what kind of like name parodies that Toriyama can come up with. And honestly, yeah, that's the kind of thing that is his jam. He is very much into name puns and having things that are allusions or references to things. So I could totally believe that happening. But if they had Hamon or stands, basically you'd have even more action going on. But the emphasis on martial arts would be a little bit less because you have basically an entirety of the content being from stands. So most of the time, stand battles are the stand user just there and the stand taking its place. So there'd be a bit of a tonal shift, as it were. Arthur E. King? What if Vegeta and Goku swapped bodies during the Ginyu Saga and stayed that way, and couldn't use the Dragon Balls to reverse it? Well, I feel like Vegeta would actually be smart enough to actually suss out Goku's power, technique, arsenal. Because he is very methodical and analytical, and I think he could figure it out quite quickly. And I think Goku could vaguely do it too, but for different reasons. Probably out of pure luck. Basically.
The real question is, why wouldn't the Dragon Balls be capable of turning them back? Because I really don't see how there's any logical reason why that would be the case. And you really gotta really think up good excuses for why certain things have to be stuck the way they are. Because if you don't, then it just becomes a situation where it's just like, oh, you may as well just do whatever you want because you're not interested in attempting to approach it from the realism of the universe, you know. So if Goku and Vegeta swapped bodies and it was a permanent unsolvable solution, I think they'd get through it. Their wives, or at least in this case, like Goku's wife and maybe Bulma would have some issues they might have to work through, because I mean, if Bulma's still going to become attracted to Vegeta, but Vegeta's now in Goku's body, that might make things a little awkward for her. But I mean, apart from that, I don't really see it changing up all that much, especially since Goku would still have mental knowledge of all of the techniques that like he would have to use and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the only thing he'd really be lacking is like if this occurs during the era when like Vegeta hasn't turned Super Saiyan yet, Goku's body can turn Super Saiyan. Goku just needs to reach that point again. But he understands the theory behind it well enough that I don't see why it wouldn't be possible for him to just be like, oh yeah, I've already retaken the #1 position because that's who I am. I'm Goku, regardless of if I'm in Vegeta's body.
Yeah, right? Well, that is the way, though, as it's the main character, no matter what body you're in.
I can't even be Goku! I can't even be Kakarot and stay in the #1 spot!
Oh. Arthur has another one. What if Oolong or Poir trained like Goku, or Goku learned their body-changing technique? Oh, if Goku learned their body-changing technique, that would be really fun, and I can imagine that Goku would use it. Mainly just kind of like, yeah, he would mainly use it to try and like see whether like he can actually like get the jump on people. But at the same time, there's also a possibility that he might not necessarily, because again, it makes the fight not fair. But if Oolong and Poir actually train like Goku, can you imagine that these small beings actually then transforming into like strong versions of themselves and actually being really tough? It'd be basically like what Chopper is in One Piece.
I think that's some lovely unexplored territory that could really be a lot of fun if Toyotaro or Toyama or Toei or whoever was to try and explore it, because there's a lot of that from the old era, you know, of Dragon Ball that kind of just went by the wayside when it stopped being about the martial arts and just became about the combat, you know, and it became this whole blur of almost supernatural extraterrestrial power creep, and so seeing those kinds of techniques employed in interesting ways would be super fun, in my opinion.
No, I'd agree. Michael Turman says, on behalf of Viper Phoenix, what if Barbary knew of Barber and or he landed by her palace? Barber might be famous in the magic world due to knowing King Yama. Well, if Barbary knew about Barber, I can imagine him probably either like telling her to like stay out of their business, or like trying to possess her or subdue her in some way. Basically, in a way, to try and stop Goku from coming back to reality. So that would be the most likely thing. So you wouldn't have Goku. So Goku would be compromised. So I think I'd have to play the sound eventually when it actually starts to boot up. I should probably put this in the solid state drive. Something. Come on. There we go.
And test the sounds before the stream starts.
Well, no, actually, the thing, it would still have that problem of loading. But there we go. So I think I played the sound. Vandalia, last week I asked what if Chi-Chi trained with Goku and Krillin via Master Roshi. What effects would that have on the original Dragon Ball, and could she be even the tournament of power in Super? I think probably it would be one of these things where, depending on whether she had Gohan in that time, I think she probably would take a step back a little bit, but probably once Gohan, you know, grew up a bit, she would then suddenly get back into it. But probably she might be able to do enough to be able to replace the likes of Ten Shinhan, depending, or be right up there in contention.
I think the biggest change would be whatever occurs during the course of, like, say, the Saiyan saga, because you'd be presented with a situation where if Chi-Chi trained with Krillin and Goku during their time at the Turtle School, right, all throughout OG Dragon Ball, you know, that means that you have to consider that, like, maybe she likes it, maybe she continues to train, maybe she trains with Goku over the course of their time when they're on Mount Paozu, you know, they have Gohan. There's a distinct possibility there that not only will Goku become stronger because he has somebody to train with him, and we've seen that you always make more gains in Dragon Ball if you have somebody to train alongside you and help and like spar with you. So not only would Goku become stronger, but Chi-Chi would become stronger, and consequently, Gohan would also be naturally stronger. But he'd also probably be permitted to at least do some degree of training with them, because by changing Chi-Chi's approach towards training and having her actually enjoy it and stuff like that, it changes a lot of how Gohan becomes raised. You know, even if she keeps the study focus, Gohan winds up a stronger character because of it. So you'd wind up in a scenario where Chi-Chi fights during the Saiyan Saga. Gohan is so hugely powerful by the beginning of the Saiyan Saga that it might actually like alter events there. Piccolo may not even die. Who knows? And if Piccolo doesn't die, then there's not necessarily a need to go and grab Dragon Balls from Namek, which could mean bad things in the long run because of Frieza, but they may still go to Namek, and you may wind up with a scenario that's very similar to your What If Fim Goku situation, where the only difference is that, Chi-Chi and Goku still got married and had Gohan, but the Breakfast Club of Combat, so to speak, still becomes a thing, you know?
Yeah, just the kind of that closer cohesion with the Earthlings, most definitely. As in, like, it would certainly, amp things up in that regard. So I think our next one is Arthur again. What if Boo post-Moro is absorbed by Oob like in GT? Would this bring the old Kai back somehow? How strong would he be? Well, that's a good question, because with the whole Force Spirit fission thing, it does open up the question about whether actually that Vegeta could actually bring back the Grand Supreme Kai and remove him from Boo. So it depends whether, because it's possible. It's entirely plausible that it could happen. So it really depends on about that, because I think that could be the best thing that could happen to Boo. Because, like, so long as, like, there'd be some essence of good Boo in there, his physique would change slightly because the Grand Supreme Kai is not in him anymore. But he would still be entirely good. So he'd just be good, but maybe a different form.
Given that by this point in the series, you know, like, the evil inside of Mr. Boo has pretty much been exorcised, you know. It's not like he'll turn evil if he loses the Grand Supreme Kai from inside of him, you know, and he's developed enough of himself as like a person, as a soul, as a character even, that his psyche is separate enough that if you were to separate the two of them, what you'd probably wind up with is maybe a less innocent and more just like, I'd say you'd wind up with a character whose personality was probably closer to Gohan, and he wouldn't have Mr. Boo's, you know, big physique, because that was inherited from Grand Supreme Kai.
But then again, you never know, because they've been absorbed for millions of years together. So maybe there might be some residual memory. But honestly, though, I think just for the sake of convenience, I think they'll probably use that to explain it away. Like, they say, but, hey, Boo, why didn't your appearance change? Yeah, so, and then, Boo and Grand Kai have been together for millions of years. Like, we know each other very well. And then basically, it'd be one of those things, and yeah, that would explain it away. I know that they would pull something like that. I know they would.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, no. What if Lord Slug had a kid who comes back during the Cell Saga and fuses with Piccolo? That could be interesting. Like, the whole... But then again, it would just make Lord Slug even more like King Piccolo. Even more of a King Piccolo knockoff. I mean, to be honest, he's so much like a knockoff already. It's just like, I think, why not? I mean, it's like, you know, with like how the 10th Doctor would say, oh no, you just can't, we level up now with humanity. No, let's just make it bigger! Just like, so you just do it. Make it bigger! It's just like, no, let's just make it bigger! It's just like, exactly, let's just do it. Why not? So basically, you'd have the son of Slug, Piccolo, Kami, and Nail, and it's just like, hey, the son goes like, oh wow, I can't believe it. This guy's incredibly strong. Hey, what's up? You want a game of pool or something? I must admit that I would rather like some extra company in here. Will you guys pipe down? I'm trying to fight here. Hey, calm down. I'm trying to actually get used to it. Is that a flat screen? just like
when you realize that after fusing with 3 different Namekians, Piccolo now has enough to be his own barbershop quartet.
oh, hello. Oh man, that could be fun. That's how they while away the times. He's not meditating, he's practicing his barbershop routine.
That's how they wow away their times, you mean?
Michael Turman. What if Mercenary Tao turned good? He can maybe have been hired to take out King Piccolo when he was around, and Goku or Bulma saved him. Also, he survived until the Android Saga, he could maybe be a teacher to Android 16. The only way he could possibly do it is out of fear. That's the initial push. Basically, he realizes for self-preservation, he is woefully outclassed. So the only way he can think to survive is to basically just like toe the line. And then eventually kind of likes the fact that he can be a bit more relaxed, that he's not always having to be all over the place. He could maybe even teach like, you know, his technique of like breaking off a pillar and throwing it into the air and using it as transportation. And maybe, I could imagine this, teaching Goku how to kill with his tongue, I imagine.
Oh my gosh, I watched that GIF. I watched that GIF of Mercenary Tao casually walking and then throwing his shoe back to block a bullet, and then it flips back forward and around and gets back onto his foot, and he never breaks his stride. And I was just like, that's how they showed off someone who was supposed to be a badass back in the day.
Yeah, it was always to do with shoes. And then he just thinks, well, I must say that the shoe is indeed on the other foot.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's crazy, because then you get those, and you wonder why people get frustrated when they have a scene like that shows Goku getting like injured by a bullet or something by the time of Dragon Ball Super, because it's like, dude, Mercenary Tao was already able to casually deflect bullets with his shoes, and we all know that Mercenary Tao is pathetic by comparison to the modern heroes, the modern protagonists of DB Super. So like, how can you even? I
can't even. Alright. Papa Podo, would it be possible to get LK on a live stream in the future? Or any of your R&R VAs? That would be fun. Yeah, we could certainly look into like bringing one of the perhaps one of the other cast members in, and maybe like depending if there's like a we could do like a character special or something like that, like request what ifs about a certain character. That could be cool.
Ooh, yeah, that could be cool.
No, we'll look into that, Podo. We'll definitely look into that. Good idea. Brendan Little, what if Boo, following 21's example with Mita and Condra, became broody as well, and Miss Boo and kids came to pass earlier? How would the Hugbug family and Hercule handle the brand new Margins? Well, that did happen in Dragon Ball Online, which explains why you can play as a Margin in that game. And I did do a video about that, the booby technique. That's what it's known
the
as.
booby technique, oh my gosh.
Yes, classic Dragon Ball there. So basically you'd have Boo and B. So like, that's how it works. And it's just like, it's classic Toriyama though. But it actually did happen, Brendan. So I suppose really it would just be, I did do a video about it, guys, so do check it out. Like, look it up. It's like one of my earlier ones, like 2017. Yeah, so back when I was just in my 30s. So that was a long time ago. Jeez.
A long time ago.
I haven't thought about that video in a long time. A long time.
Long time.
So yeah, Michael Turman. What if Whis had other people training to be a GODs? Goku and Vegeta meeting them would be curious, especially if one was maybe Garlic Jr. Who? Who's that guy? Okay, no.
Yeah, Garlic Jr. Who? I know that there's a Garlic. I mean, that's the guy that fought Kami, right? But I mean, who is Garlic Jr.?
I have no idea. But in terms of like your so in terms of your idea about like, I wouldn't be surprised if there were other candidates in the past, like. Whis trains them up. Oh, and then basically they think they're about to get to the right message and stuff like that. But then ultimately they die of their immortality, and Whis is just like, oh dear, that's a shame. They're actually kind of good. Oh well, we'll move on to the next one. I can imagine Whis just being a bit like, oh, that's too bad. I kind of liked him in a way. Oh well, who's the next candidate? This blase just like shrugs it off. So maybe if there were like some ideas about like there were other examples that went to the other world, I wouldn't be surprised if in the other world some of the fighters at the other world tournament were actually failed candidates. So I think that could be it. Chrome Bison, what if Vegeta defeated Superman? I would take it. Because honestly...
Vegeta needs to defeat somebody!
Yeah, I know, right? And like, you know...
And Shadow the Hedgehog doesn't count.
No. Yeah, that's the thing. So basically, it would just be like, okay. No, I think that'd be like... But I would take that. Somebody needs to stop Superman in some way. And Super Saiyan God, logically, is the power that should be able to do it. But apparently, Screw Attack thought, no. So, because it's divine magic key. So, but apparently, no. That's not how it works. Apparently not. I'm not salty about that at all. The Squall 8. What if the three main Universe 6 Saiyans, Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla, landed on Earth instead of Goku? Well, you'd have the whole trio manifesto thing. So if they were babies and stuff, like, I can imagine Caulifla growing up to be the dominant one of the three, Kaba being the nice boy, and Kale just being the one that doesn't really talk, like the mute of the group. Like, if they were in that situation, but, I mean, they'd have a very beneficial household if they lived together with Gunpei Gohan. But I still can imagine Kale being so timid that she'd be a mute for a long time. And, like, Caulifla's the only one that can communicate with her. Just that kind of, like, connection. Because everyone thinks that Caulifla, like, treated Kale like a dog's body. I mean, that was kind of true. But, like, there was a reason why she was in that gang. Like, Caulifla had to value her in some way. But, yeah, I can imagine Caulifla wearing the baggy pants in that threesome.
There's a very easy explanation why Kale would have been in the gang even if she hadn't revealed her ability to fight. That's because Kale was Caulifla's girlfriend.
Yes, and I'm interested that did the dub actually double down on that?
I don't know. I didn't watch the dub. The only part of the dub that I watched was the return of Brian Drummond for the filler episode with the whatchamacallit. And then I'm like, good. I got my fix. I'm going back to watching the sub.
No, I had a feeling that somebody mentioned that they actually doubled down on that. I wasn't sure. But guys, can you clarify if you've seen the dub whether that they actually did?
I would hope so, because I think I like the dynamic of Caulifla and Kale better than the dynamic of Caulifla and Kaba, and I'm not entirely sure if the dub doubled down on it or not. I've heard mixed opinions on it, because I know some people have gotten the impression that that depending on which version you watch, you're getting either more or less of Kaba or Kale as the interest. But even so, you still wind up having to squint for either of them, because the narrative is already written to where it's like, yeah, that's not the focus, guys. They're trying to figure out how to access that power that makes that whole tingly sensation on their back.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of that, Brendan has another Caulifla and Kale what if, instead them inviting themselves to join Kaba in training with Vegeta. Would Jeets be okay with the new arrivals, or would he just be driven nuts? Nah, probably not Caulifla. I think he'd tolerate Caulifla because she wants to learn, and she actually has potential. I think he'd get irritated with Kale, though, because, like, Kale is just being so meek. I mean, even Goku was kind of getting a bit irritated during the tournament with Kale. Like, even Goku. And Goku's usually actually really patient. Like, he was basically telling Kale, go away. Like...
You know what's interesting about Kale's character is that superficially she was created for very, very superficial reasons. They wanted to tap into the Broly market without actually tapping Broly for the thing, especially considering DBS was clearly already on the docket, you know. So Broly's out of the running. They want to tap into the Broly stuff, and so they create this character that's a pretty clear, just basically a gender bend of Broly. Here's the thing, though. Kale wouldn't have movie Broly's backstory. So what kind of trauma did Kale experience that made her so much movie Broly that she could have this meek and almost, like Hyuga Hata-esque personality at times, but then become, female evil Broly, or whatever, when she bulks up as Super Saiyan Berserker. So I think it would be interesting if we were going to get more of Universe 6 Saiyans. I'd like to explore some of these characters' pasts, because if you do just take value like, oh, Caulifla's a female version of Goku if Goku never hit his head, oh, Kale a female version of Broly, oh, Kaba is a female version of a regular version of Vegeta, or a noble version of Vegeta if Vegeta's royal family had been raised in a there's an audio problem, Masako.
Oh right, hang on one second.
I don't know if it's on my end or yours.
Oh no, it's calmed down now. Back up to 3 bars now. But yeah, I think people could get what you were saying. It was just a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, they're treated very superficially as characters, and I'd like to get a little bit more of their backstory so that they can be more than just alternate universe versions of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly.
Right. No, definitely. Red Dragon says on behalf of Manifesto, what if Silas was in the Grand Prix Galactic Prisoner Moro arc? Oh yes, a member of the Galactic Patrol. I think one of the first members and the first member of the Time Patrol. I don't really know much about Silas, but to be honest, if you actually incorporated that, I think it's because since it was in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, that would be the bridge, the bridge thing to bring the game world and the anime world together. And I think that is going to happen. It's a matter of time. But I also feel like, that is a very, very big step to take. That needs to be done very carefully. But I need to catch up with the world mission, because I did buy the game, but I don't think I got past the first basic missions, because, again, it didn't really pique my interest, to be honest. Papa PODO says a follow-up to Michael Turman's what if Goku and Vegeta asked about it, Whis would answer, as about other candidates, there is no Garlic Jr. Moving on. There is no Garlic Jr. Moving on. Touché, Podo. Red Dragon says, on behalf of Vulcan, Good Boy Nappa movie edition. We'll probably do the movie versions once we've actually finished the main story, which should probably be another 2 or 3 parts or so. So we will then look into maybe the movies. So we'll look into that. Basically, Gobi then asks, what if Saiyans have manic syndrome? If Diogenes the Cynic was in Dragon Ball, what if he was one of the few people who could sass Beerus to his face without consequence? Oh gosh. Well, it would actually be very interesting to see Beerus have somebody who he was actually intimidated by, not through strength or anything like that, but he basically would have somebody who would like be really be able to like psych himself out in that way. Hey, we have a Haverock.
Good evening. I'm almost done, but I think I can talk now. Sorry, I have something booked in.
No. Don't worry.
Hello, everyone.
No, don't worry about it, mate. They're basically, we were just like in the middle of something, but don't worry. You just finish up what you need to do. But basically, yeah, Gobi, it would be very interesting to see somebody who could actually sass Beerus out without needing to throw a punch. It would definitely be cool. PADPARADSCHA, what if Chaozu trained with Roshi and Krillin with Crane? If Chaozu probably would actually have the telekinetic powers, and actually be really interesting because he would have the physical strength as well as his telekinetic powers. So I feel like the Krillin and Tenshinhan combo would be less effective than Chaozu and Tenshinhan. So I feel like that would be a really interesting addition to the Turtle School's kind of like repertoire. And I feel
also, another question, if it was the Crane School the one that kinda helped him to control it, because I'm not sure Roshi has the knowledge upon telekinetic powers. I'm not sure. Like, some of his techniques are borderline magic, but...
Well, there's a distinct possibility that Roshi didn't get into the telekinesis stuff for the same reason, and it could just be because it followed the same principles as the flight technique. And we all know that the only reason that Roshi doesn't utilize the flight technique is because of spite. Essentially, he doesn't like the flight technique because he wasn't the one to invent it. It was the Crane School that invented it. And so theoretically, you know, he mentions, "Oh, I could do that if I wanted," but he actually doesn't because it's a Crane School technique. So if the telekinesis stuff was all Crane School techniques, it's very possible that he just never bothered to learn them, actively learn them, just because of spite.
Of course. No, I could believe that. Yeah, that Roshi is an old man, like a really old man, so I can imagine being quite stubborn. Red Dragon, part of Felipe Rocha. What if Bulma joined the Freezer Force? Okay. If Bulma basically was like, I can imagine the only way that would be logical that she would is out of fear. And like, again, like we do in the Goku defeated Roshi, basically to protect her friends. But I can imagine also that she would basically have enough of a brain to be able to put in a failsafe. That basically means that, oh, I can basically destroy their entire ship, like, without them knowing it. Sort of what, like, Jiro did with Frieza. Like, you know, if Jiro could do it, Bulma could do it. Having that kind of, like, trip system. So I could see that. Alright, the autistic goldfish. I know this idea seems far-fetched, but what if Kid Chi-Chi became a Saiyan to try and impress Goku? Well, the thing is, though, is that at that time, Saiyans weren't known to people. The only inclination that you know that Goku isn't from around here is with Major Metallotron, when he did a scan on him and said that he was an alien. So, that was, like, the first, like, inkling that the anime had a feeling that Goku wasn't human.
Yeah.
But basically, if Chi-Chi wouldn't know that Goku was a Saiyan, unless it was a wish on the Dragon Balls. That was the only way that you could do it. But, I don't know.
Well, you could probably do it similarly to how you accomplished it with what if Krillin was a Saiyan, what if? In that, like, you go and you take Chi-Chi and you have her want to be more like Goku to impress him. And the dragon chooses to interpret that as, well, in order for her to be more like Goku, she's going to need to be... He takes it literally and makes her a Saiyan.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the Goku Black. You took it too literally. Or not literally enough. Alright, Gobi. What if, because of Boo crushing Chi-Chi in front of him, Goten developed an aversion to eggs to the point where eating or smelling them makes him vomit?
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
Why would you do this to that poor sweet Bab?
But a big green sound. Oh my god.
No.
That's a
no
big...
hurt Goten. Yeah.
Goten. Oh no. I mean, basically, just like oh jeez.
We here on MasakoX channel do not condone harming Goten. Disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly.
Goten is a good boy. Don't do this to him.
Oh, but basically...
Masako already gave him enough trauma over him being a clone of his dad.
But that was already based on existing content. That was...
Of course.
That was the thing. Oh, and like Gobi says, because I'm a sinister one. Oh. Well, I mean, well, don't feed Goten eggs then. That's all I'll say. And then Gobi has another one. What if Goku had no choice but to finish K to 12th grade and graduate like Billy Madsen in order to train under Whis? I can imagine Whis probably doing that in a way. Just out of like going like, your idea of school, I think you should do that, Goku. And like, just says, all right, Goku, can you please recite to me before we train what you did on your summer vacation? It's like, what I did on my summer vacation. I trained a lot. It was the best day of my life.
I gathered vegetables, I trained.
I punched Vegeta once. It was
He
fun.
liked it. He liked his silly cheats.
Yeah.
For show and tell today, I brought these. What are those, Mr. Son Goku? These are my training weights. Anybody want to try them on?
It's like,
I thought you would. I thought for a second you said, "These are my children."
This is my son Gohan. He's a teacher at the college.
well, you did tell me to, show things. I'm telling you. Oh.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, next one. ROBMAR 34. What if Goku and Raditz were sent to Earth together? We do actually do this quite a lot, so we'll probably actually do this on a what if lightning round. But basically, in short, Raditz would be the one to basically take charge and revel in the fact that there was no element of Frieza Force people around. So basically, they would make use of that situation. And Raditz would actually relish the fact there was no Frieza Force there to control them. So I definitely feel like that'd be the case. PADPARADSCHA, what if they wished Nappa and Vegeta human in the year before they arrived? Well, let's just say that's on the logic about Krillin and the Saiyan. I can imagine if they did that, like, one day, Nappa's having a nap, and then just like, hey Vegeta, my tail fell off! It's like, that's odd, my tail's disappeared too! And I have an urge for feelings. I feel this is bad.
Hey Vegeta, but are we human or are we dancer?
Ah. I don't know, Nappa, and I don't like it. No, but in reality, though, if they were human, they would still be powerful, but they wouldn't have the Uzaru transformation to go off of, and neither would they have, like, any kind of, like, Zenkai. So basically, there'd be a limitation in terms of their battle power. So that would definitely be the anomaly. So ultimately, Goku would win. Gobi, what if Goku and Gohan had fused into Gokhan in DBZ, and what if they stayed fused like your Vegeta what if? We actually did do a what if lightning round. I think the first one actually had what if Goku and Gohan fused. Basically, there would have been no nonsense, they'd have gotten the job done. But to add to that, I think Chi-Chi would have been extremely weirded out by the fact that her husband and son were now one person.
Yeah, more than a little, I think, and it would be very, very, very awkward.
It would be extremely awkward.
And let's not forget, Gohan has a girlfriend in that timeline. By fusing with his father, he's pretty much screwed up that relationship with Videl.
Yeah, like nobody wins in that one. Gobi has another one. What if Super Saiyan Rose had been named after the pink squirrel cocktail instead? Oh man, I don't know about that cocktail actually. I'm gonna look it up.
Super Saiyan Pink Squirrel.
It's like a secret squirrel. Or the Pink Panther. Okay, it's like crème de noyau or crème de almond cream, crème de cacao, and vanilla ice cream, maraschino cherry. Honestly, it looks like maraschino cherries to be honest. That actually does look really delicious. Jeez. Goodness. That's like, it's got ice cream, chocolate stuff, almond cream. Oh my goodness. That looks extremely drinkable. That is very dangerous.
Sorry, you probably hear my doggo.
No,
My
it's
doggo.
okay. No, doggos are blessed here. Champion of Unity. What if Yamcha went to the Crane School, or what if Tien went to Turtle Hermit School? Well, Yamcha probably would have been indoctrinated into that school. Probably be.
He could be super effective.
He would be super effective.
Probably.
And Tien probably would also be very very effective as well. Basically having that kind of like training and discipline and stuff. And I feel like Roshi would actually be very impressed with Tenshinhan's ethic. So I think they would actually really prosper with different masters. Joey V, in my opinion, there are plenty of ways it could have happened, but what if Piccolo became or stayed relevant? Well, the Moro arc definitely has done a good thing in making Piccolo more relevant. I mean, more relevant.
Still not
really relevant.
Yeah, not what we like.
It's a step in the right direction. Yeah. Step in the right direction, though. And I feel like if he and Gohan actually are left, embrace the fact that they work together, I feel like it could definitely be something quite good. So there's definitely something like using that, tag team dynamic, because it worked pretty well in the Morrow saga. So I feel like it could definitely work again in the future. Red Dragon, on behalf of Thunder Student. What if you fused Tien and Nappa during the Universe 6 tournament? Brings back Nappa, gives Tien Saiyan power, and a new fusion to join the Tournament of Power later. Oh, so basically if Fuse just like knocking around and basically just like brings back Nappa and then fuses him forcibly with Ten Shin Han, well, it would certainly make him the super big bald guy and probably actually really strong. Like, if it's like a beefed up Nappa, which I can imagine Fuse doing. Like a bulked up Nappa. So
With third eye.
Ten Shin Han could like have a volcano explosion Ki Koho. Like,
and multiform. Oh jeez.
And multiform, yeah. PADPARADSCHA, what if Cronulla existed in the JoJo verse? Well, to be honest, basically you have Dio in heaven, like the eyes of heaven. I can imagine there being like some example of time shenanigans. I can imagine that being the case. And the fact that you got the world, it wouldn't be a surprise. Like, basically, you have someone who has the ability to stop time indefinitely or bring it going backwards for a certain amount of time. But it would just be an extension of the world, essentially. Heartless Fang, would you ever voice a comic strip from ARKIMA? Hell yeah. I definitely would. Just ask them to get in touch, and I will be absolutely 100% down. I'll actually, if anyone can be in contact with Heartless Fang, because I think he had to leave early, do let him know, because I would definitely. Okay, Connor Moffat. What if Gohan learned Divine Mind with him always studying, or Bulla if she became a fighter sparking joy and Divine Mind? Sound awesome. Could non-Saiyans get them? How would you finish your Freezer after Morrow? I think those forms are Saiyan unique. So basically, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to be closing off what if submissions in the next 5 minutes. So just so you know, if you want to get your what if in, you got 5 minutes, people. But yeah, Divine Mind and Sparking Joy are side grades of Super Saiyan. So basically, they are unique only to people who have Saiyan traits. But I can imagine, Sparking Joy will be good with Bulla, and Divine Mind for Gohan. They seem very intrinsic to what their skill sets are, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That being said, we should probably do more of those transformation videos. We have some ideas for non-Saiyans.
Yeah, we should definitely work on some more of those. Okay, PADPARADSCHA. What if Teen Gohan spontaneously developed a Slavic accent? And then Vegeta goes, I'm sorry to break this to you, but your son is now a scientist. I don't know what to say. Like, just wakes up one day and has a Slavic accent? I don't know.
I guess it's supposed to be a reference to the scientists from DB Super, but...
Of course, yeah. Oh, because if you become too smart as a Saiyan, you develop a Slavic accent. Apparently. I'd be very interested if we ever get Chris Sabat on the podcast. We will ask him that question.
Yeah.
And he'll probably just go like, I don't know, it just sounded kind of fun. It's like all these like 60s like movies and stuff. They always had the Russian scientists. Like, I just did that because it was, like, funny. I can imagine them saying that, but we promise to endeavor to ask him. Whoa. What was that?
Whoa. Sophie, got, 10 drops, I think, and she dropped.
Oh, wow. That was like a basketball thing. Jeez. Okay, well, we'll wait for Sophie to come back. We don't know what happened there, but...
that was scary, maybe,
we just have to ask, what was that? Yeah, no, dang, that was like... Okay. Well, we'll wait for her to come back. Okay, right. Okay, next one is... Red Dragon on behalf of Thunder Student. What if Nappa was revived during the Freezer saga? The Wish, and ultimately joined Tien's new Crane school? Me can correct a prior super chat. So basically, if Nappa was revived during the Freezer saga, again, he'd be like really, really powerful and stuff like that. I feel like he would definitely toe the line, and he would probably endeavor to be stronger, because basically the whole thing... But that was the whole emphasis of What If Nappa turned good. Basically, that he was, like, left broken by the fact that Vegeta kind of abandoned him. So it would just be another philosophy of that, and then Tin Shinhan, in this case, could be the one for guidance. PADPARADSCHA, what if Poir's true form was revealed to be a 10-foot-tall wall of meat cat boy with the same voice? Basically like Chopper. Like, I would say with Chopper, basically having this demonic, like, cat being like with Poir, but having the same voice. It's classic Toriyama subversion,
Yeah.
so honestly, I could totally believe that happening. So, yeah. And then PADPARADSCHA again, what if brain or head damage resulted in a Zenkai that increases intelligence? Well, I think Goku would definitely have be smarter than Bulma. And then that would just make Bulma even more resentful of Saiyans. But yeah, so I think that could be it. Uni Gaming, what if Goku found and trained with Master Shen instead of Master Roshi? I think we've actually tackled this before, but usually I think Goku would embrace the fact that he would have the Dodon Ray because it'd be very effective. But over time, he would, like, he's not an intrinsically evil boy. He basically would then get tired and weary of Shen's protestations. And then ultimately, he would just go like, you know, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to leave. So basically, he just bounced. For the fact that he just isn't really, like, he doesn't really gel well with Shen. Okay. Red Dragon Force, on behalf of Thunder Student, what if Dragon Ball Super Broly Goku acted like GT Goku? Oh, okay. So basically, just like, I don't know, actually. If he acted like that...
There isn't that much of a difference.
There isn't, actually, because the one in the Dragon Ball Super Broly, or Dragon Ball Super Goku GT Goku, oh yeah, just more innocent, carefree. Yeah, because everyone, like, complained in Super that Goku was acting like a kid. And GT Goku was a kid. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And hey, Sophie's back.
I'm back. How does it sound?
No, it's fine, but basically it was like you just like dropped like 10 times in 2 seconds. It was like bizarre. It sounded like
Oh shit!
it was weird.
That's crazy. Cause like on my end, it just literally showed it as me just like suddenly dropping out of the call, and then Discord was like frozen for me. So I had to completely restart everything.
Gosh, that's nuts. Oh, but and we are now back to the fact that now Super Chat submissions are now closed. Thank you very much, everybody, for your contributions. If we do have time, we will do them, but basically, we still have to wait and see. But we'll get through what we've got. Okay. Gobi, what if Goku Black fused with the possessed GT Vegeta? Well, Vegeta would be doubly possessed. Like, it would be just like, why can't you possess your mind? You can't possess something twice. Well, oh no, I'll be the judge of that, because clearly I'm very susceptible to that.
You know, I think that Baby would be the dominant personality, because like Baby could just take over the whole fusion. Oh my.
Yeah.
I don't think like if Zama's tried to do it, I don't think he would have thought this out through.
No, I don't think so. SMASHBRONO, what signature attacks would you come up with in the Dragon Ball world? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm still really enamored with my technique I gave Ranch, which is the power bow. I'm still enamored with that because it's basically, it's type of cloth. It can be basically used as a whip. It can be used as a sword. Depends on what kind of key you channel and charge through it. So I'm still in love with that. I would just do a variation of that. Just kind of like close quarter melee combat or somewhere with a bit of distance.
I like that.
Yeah. Do you have a signature attack, Soph?
I don't know. I think as far as attacks go, I always like the sheer variety that Dragon Ball has to offer. I mean, as far as things that I've come up with, it's not an attack, but I'm pretty proud of inventing the CRAIO Henshin. But I mean, if I had to say like what's my favorite like signature move throughout the series. Honestly, I'd probably say just the Kamehameha, just because of how iconic it is and how fun it is to do the whole aspect of charging the beam, you know. The whole Kamehameha. That it's so much fun to do that. That's probably my favorite like beam technique or anything like that. And my favorite technique that I've come up with is Kaioshin.
Yeah, no, I would agree. What about you, Have?
Well, you know, like it's not technically my idea entirely, but you know, when we did Universe 13 teams, I like the idea about those punches going through portals. I know Jamemba has something similar, but it was like used very shortly, and I simply like a character that could, you know, do those wacky things, you know, between magic and transportation and, you know, and martial arts. Not necessarily key blasts.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's temporal goodness is definitely something good. Okay, PADPARADSCHA, what if Roshi was actually TFS Alucard? Well, it would definitely it would probably be release restraint level 69.
Oh my god.
And it's just
that was a chick in the 40s.
I hate everyone equally, which is why I'm a hermit. Yeah. It's just like one random it's a different universe where he basically incarnated into Master Roshi.
And Turtle is Walter.
Yes, exactly. Nintendo Gamer 5000. I thought of an idea where Turles and Slug were in the main canon, but they were rivals to the Frieza Force rather than just being bad guys on their own. I more or less see them playing out post-Broly. Oh yeah, that means Xenoverse 2 were definitely playing up the fact that Turles and Slug were a package. So honestly, doubling down on that, I think is perfectly reasonable. I mean, hey, it gives Turles something to do. So, a Nintendo Gamer, I would definitely agree with that. Craig, what if you switched the roles of the Briefs and Jiro's family from the beginning? If Jiro's son was like Bulma, the story would still be interesting. There'd definitely be a lot more birds, that's for sure. It's like,
I think we've gotten this question,
yeah,
but worded slightly differently on a couple of occasions now.
Basically, we'd have this benevolent lead, you know, Dr. Briefs would be this benevolent, nice scientist, but under the skin was a ruthless business mogul who basically was like, you know, like the Red Ribbon Army were just this bunch of misfits who were complete no-hopers and basically really, really menacing, but had a really good set of intentions. Like Commander Red, he's like a nasty, scummy guy, but he's like there to like think, yo, so I always knew that the Capsule Corp was up to something bad. I always knew it, but I want to prove it. And then basically just have this bunch of ragtag people. It's like with Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. The bandits he's with, they're evil. They're not nice people, but they're a family. So I get that vibe. So I get that vibe, definitely. Okay, Champion of Unity. What if Frieza was like Frost? Well, it would certainly make the impact of Frost a bit less impactful, but Champion, if you check out our What If Frost was actually good What If, you can actually get a good idea about what we'd be doing if we actually had a polar opposite of Frieza in Universe 6. You could definitely see that. Lucas, can't stay long for as I have work, but I still have time to come and send some money as support. That's all. Have a nice rest of your day. Well, thanks, Lucas. You have a good rest of your day, too.
Thank you.
Alright, okay. PADPARADSCHA, what if Zeno met King Kai? I feel like King Kai would be absolutely terrified. Because, hey, if Beerus and all the other gods and Shin were actually scared of Zeno, then I think King Kai would actually be extremely terrified. So basically, I feel like it would be basically a very, very short conversation. And I feel like with King Kai, he tries to make a joke, I think Zeno would erase him. Because, I don't like your joke. You go. It's like...
gosh.
Craig Twitchell, what if the Briefs family were Tuffles? Well, if there are theories to be believed, they would only be 3 foot tall. So basically, it's the Dragon Ball answer to Gnomes. So basically. So basically, they would have that. They'd still have the prodigious mind, but I don't think much else would change, to be honest. Red Dragon.
Maybe they will be a little bit more scared when the Saiyan reveal will be around.
Yes, maybe. So basically, a bit more of a shock to the system. Red Dragon on behalf of Aaron. What if Dragon Ball had a Nightmare on Elm Street episode? Oh man, Freddy Krueger. Basically, just be like this whole like demon thing. He basically goes and tries to go and like attack Boo in his sleep because he sleeps a lot. Or no, basically, no, because Boo sleeps a lot. He basically can train and get stronger in Boo's mind through different nightmares. He's like, he can't kill him, but it's like, oh yeah, I basically can play through any scenario in this monster's mind, and I get stronger with every single encounter. And then basically,
you know what would be brilliant? You know what would be brilliant is if the person, the one who had to defeat him was Krillin.
Yeah.
Because in Krillin's dreams, he's the strongest.
Yeah, no, basically, I may be a weakling and coward in real life, but in my dreams, I am the strongest there is.
Also, for some reason, like, he would be, you know, he couldn't finish a word whenever the word started with a letter B for no reason.
Yeah, something subversive like that. Okay. Yash Bagari. Hey, Masako, Hav, and Soph. I went through the answered super chat from the last stream and I came to a theory. Do you agree that Masako is Luffy, Sophie is Zoro, and Havrok is Usopp in the group? I would probably say I'm the Usopp, really. Because I'm like, you know, I do punch above my weight sometimes. I'm not exactly the most endeavorous of the group, but I give it my all, honestly.
I'm not super familiar with One Piece, but Zoro's the guy who fights with 3 katana, right? Does that make me
Piccolo of One Piece? Honestly.
Oh, so I'm like the Piccolo of the What If Round Table. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm the one who tries to keep the what ifs like really grounded in reality and like, but is this possible? Is this in character?
Yeah, and if those, I'm actually catching up with Mark's what if retrospectives. Well, no, retrospectives of One Piece. They've definitely been very useful. So I've definitely been doing that. Red Dragon. What if Yamcha fused with Boo? I feel like it would be like, you know, I think it would be really funny to see Boo basically morph and become a bit more like Yamcha. Basically, Boo with like, "Sup everyone, my dudes!" It's like, this is totally radical!
It would be Boom Chap,
How do you do, fellow kids?
It would be Boom Chap, but they would address themselves as Bambucha.
Right. And then Red Dragon has another one. What if Beerus intervened against Boo in ancient times? Well, I feel like if Beerus did his actual job, I feel like he was probably asleep when all of this happened. But if he actually did his job, Boo probably would have been stopped, and the Grand Supreme Kai would be absolutely fine. And hey, female Goku, male Goku's doing A-okay. Scorching imaginations. What if Black had to train, in terms of journeying and training to regain the power of Goku's body, without relying on the Zenkai boosts? I feel like, in a way, if he did do that, sort of what I did in my What If Goku Black Turned Good, I feel like Goku's body would actually start to rebel against him, or at least, like, throw some kind of, like, memory into his mind and kind of corrupt his soul. I feel like that could happen.
I still feel that's a dropped storyline that they were going to do, but Toriyama or someone said nope.
They lost that thread. Like, probably they were thinking about it, and Toriyama was like, no, I don't want to do that. Because he does say that. Like, if there is he does again, like, no, I didn't plan on doing that.
I mean, again, like that's, you know, just something we theorize. We don't know if that happened, but it's like
knowing the way that from what I've seen from the various different things I've watched on it or things I've read on it and so on and so forth, I understand that, like, there's a lot of times in the industry when it comes to whether it be making anime whole cloth, or whether it be drawing manga, or whether it be writing light novels, a lot of plot lines wind up by the wayside, either due to the author not wanting to write it or the editor more often not wanting it to be written that way. Like you could submit an entirely finished series to them, and if the editor doesn't like the way the plot works, they'll just be like, nope, I'm not taking this 14-volume series you've spent your life on. You're gonna have to rewrite it.
Yep. Yep. That's true. Tyrannotum Tube, what if Gohan was the first Super Saiyan? Well, you can get that in What If Gohan Went Super Saiyan Early. That What If video series. I've done 4 episodes so far. You can check that out on the main channel. PADPARADSCHA, what if future Ginyu got a human body and fought against Black? Okay, so basically if he ended up like, he absorbed himself into, he basically used the Change Now technique in Tenshinhan. And basically was like, learnt Tenshinhan's like mode of discipline and stuff like that. And then he just thought, oh, I'll try and fight against Black or something like that. I feel like the tenacity would be there, but I feel like ultimately it would just be a bit of like comedians and stuff. It'd be just for a sense of comedy. Yeah. Like
at this point, yeah. Also, it's ambiguous because theoretically, like we always believed that Ginyu's power is dependent on the body he inhabits. But his spirit has to have some innate power, right?
Yeah.
So that's that's for me. That's not really that that will answer, because like if you think about it, like Change Now might not be that great of a technique when you don't know how to utilize the body and weaken yourself.
I think it would be one of those situations where like the most optimum way of training it would to become like really empathetic, somebody who can really like get into another person's skin. But by that same token, I think that's probably one of the reasons why it wasn't super amazing in the hands of somebody like Ginyu, is because Ginyu is very clearly selfish and more ambitious sort of character. He wasn't stealing the body thinking, like from a mindset of empathy or anything like that. He's literally just like, oh, this body's got a strong power, I'll take it for myself. But if you had somebody who was more able to kind of put themselves in the shoes of another person, and reach that empathetic state to where they'd be more open to learning and understanding how the body works, because they understand how the person they're swapping with works. I think it could wind up being a very, very powerful, very potent technique. So like if somebody like Tien, for example, somebody like Tien was to learn it and they were to swap bodies with Goku, right, for whatever reason, right? Like let's say something happens and for whatever reason, like Goku's spirit is trapped and his body's just like a lump, right? And it's like, but somebody needs to fight and we don't have any of our strong guys because like Vegeta's in hell because he's trying to get him, trying to save Goku from something. I don't know. I'm coming up with this off the top of my head. Tien goes into Goku's body using the technique and he's able to utilize it to like its full potential because Tien understands Goku. He understands his mindset. He understands who he is as a person. He's more familiar with the body, the techniques, the history, and how to put himself there empathetically, And so he winds up fighting the enemies in Goku's body until they're able to like save Goku's soul or something.
I don't think he's ready for one thing, the diet.
And no. Tenshinhan, yes, Yashbagari. Tenshinhan is an inherent observer.
Yep, no, absolutely. No, I would agree. Okay, Gobi, what if Goku wound up marrying Mai? Well, basically, that would be a bit of an age gap, that's for sure, because there's at least, like, about a good, like, at least 10, 15 years between them. So I feel like even if that were the case, I don't know. It would still be a little bit awkward, but I suppose Mai would be, like, at least happy that she doesn't have to listen to Pilaf anymore. That's the thing. I think that's the consolation. Brian Cubero. What if Raunch was the last one standing at the end of the Tournament of Power? People would call hacks and basically would say, but Masako, you basically made your OC into a really powerful character. That's why basically I had to lampshade that in the Raditz What If and make her the first one to go out. Basically. Yeah, loads of people were like, No, Tenshinhan should have been in the team. So basically, I had to kind of give her some kind of limitation to show, like, hey, she's still learning. So, but if she were the last one, she would, you know, it'd be cool, but she would toe the line and just do the wish that 17 did. I mean, not for the boat, obviously. Christy, what if Bulma rebuilt and programmed Android 19? She would make him into a robot, maid, like in like the Daleks in World War II, like going, "Would you care for some tea?" That was one of the funniest lines I've heard from a Dalek.
Oh gosh.
I think my favorite ones were German Daleks.
Oh, and like German Daleks, like the German toilet in DBZ.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I definitely would do that. Minion of the East. What if Bardock was a brilliant scientist? Well, no, I've got to say it like, what if Bardock was a brilliant scientist?
A brilliant scientist.
Yeah, it's just like a brilliant scientist. It's like those.
Yeah.
Very,
very hard tease.
Yeah. There was something. It was just something about the microphones that they were using. They were really treble heavy. But either way, if you were a scientist, then basically, he'd have a Slavic accent.
I actually came up with a concept. I actually remember talking to Haverock about it, but it was a lot more like fan fiction. So I don't know if I'll ever actually like make a video series on it or anything like that when I get back into making videos. But it was basically a rewrite of the Saiyan historical timeline of how they came to be in power on the planet, etc., and how Bardock went from being a scientist to being a strong warrior who by the end knows about this plot to eliminate all of the Saiyan race by Frieza. And it changed up Bardock's character, but it also changed up Guinea's character, because I remember from a long time ago, right before Dragon Ball Minus was a thing, before anyone knew anything about Kakarot's mom.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people liked to presume that a lot of like his more wild nature, like especially after we see Bardock, and Bardock's a pretty like he's a pretty chill guy, all things considered. And so you're sitting there kind of thinking, oh, this is the dad who was the father of this wild child that Roshi described Gohan finding in the woods. So a lot of people liked to headcanon Goku's mom as being this much more like wild and crazy, super fight happy Saiyan, right? Like somebody who like was super into the fighting and really wanted to face strong guys and was like real freaking crazy about it. And so I kind of wanted to play with that concept of Guinea and run with it as a thing. Yeah, Goku's mom being hot-blooded, Gobi, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You just get, like, there should be, like, Guinea singing, I'm hot-blooded, check it and see. I got a fever of 103.
103.
Yeah, exactly. Craig, what if Jiro was more like Bulma in that magic was a curiosity for him? It would make him more relevant. Oh yeah, that's the thing. We talk about this a lot, but basically Jiro would only use magic realistically to basically give him infinite sources and materials, basically.
Yeah.
He would only use that to enrich his desire for science and technology. Basically,
I wish for a great laboratory to build androids. You know, Dr. Jiro, I can make those androids for you. No, that's not fun.
What have I been teaching myself all these years for? Exactly. Mental stimulation. Gobi, what if Goku landed on Mars and was raised by Martians? Well, assuming he can actually breathe, he basically, it'd be probably a very boring situation, but we don't really know much about what's on Mars, because there isn't anything on Mars. But if there were, it'd probably just be like some kind of subversion of like the typical Martians things that there would be in mysteries and stuff. Like, there'd be that infamous, like, mask that you see from, like, all the satellite images from Mars. Or something like that. But definitely...
if we have to ask ourselves, if any character was going to be raised by Martians, which Martians? The white Martians or the green Martians? For all of you DC fans out there.
Exactly, and then but then it brings up the whole thing, like, are there, like with Namekians, Martians or the albino Martians? With that. PADPARADSCHA, I saw you commented on it earlier, but what do you think of my Garlic Jr. post on your subreddit? Yes. Basically, I did see it, and I did comment it on it, actually. Basically, I do like the idea. I'll give it a deeper read, because I'll be on vacation. I'll have some time to actually look at it fully. But from what I could tell, you've really thought of it through and actually given a nice kind of cast of characters. Okay. And then PADPARADSCHA does another one. Goku would lose to Superman. It's personality, not power. But Vegeta would beat Zod. Oh, yeah. Vegeta would definitely beat Zod. And not have to, like, break his neck for it. Like, you know, in Man of Steel. That was a weird moment. Just seeing, like, Superman do that, and he goes, "Aah!" That was strange. Like, Superman wouldn't destroy things. Destroys an entire city. Okay.
Just like it's just as Zack Snyder hates humanity and fun.
Oof. 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 Alright, Joe the Medical. Have you ever watched only real DBZ fans would understand memes on YouTube? No, I haven't actually, because
Yeah.
I've not really seen them. They've not come up on my recommendations or anything like that, but I don't know. I mean, I might give it a look after that. Okay.
A lot of them later land on something called DB Cringe on Twitter. Just saying.
Craig Twitchell, what if Ranch learned how to harness magic near adulthood? I can imagine her giving it a go. Like, you know, one day she goes to, like, find the nearest person who knows magic, and that's, like, Baba. Or, like, having this moment of just, like, clarity. Tries to do magic, and then basically just uses it to just play pranks on her dad. Like, just, like, try and, like, yeah, just, like, be able to, like, use some kind of, like, telekinesis. Or, like, just be able to, like... Oh, no, Chaozu. Basically, she goes to Chaozu and, like, says, hey, I want to do some pranks on my dad, and then say no more. And then basically doing the double finger point, you got it. And then basically uses telekinesis just to screw around with Raditz. Just
I also have some, you know, subverting idea. What if she learned magic tricks, like card tricks, and Raditz, this is magic.
Oh, yes.
Like, overcoming the bad guys through sleight of hand.
Ranch pulls a rabbit out of her hat, and Raditz is just, like, amazed. He's like, amazing! What is this witchery and witchcraft? I've never seen the likes of this before. And Ranch is like, even Blue Launch is just, like, unimpressed. It's just a classic magic trick, dear. It's nothing special. But where did the rabbit come from? It makes no sense. The rabbit is too big for the hat. Don't you see? My daughter is playing with the ideas of physics. I've never been so proud. And then just Ranch, and Launch is just like, yeah, okay, I'm just leaving. Yeah, I all right. Soulfan Gaming. What if the Saiyans survive Frieza's attack? If they did, and they were able to counter back, there would just be an all-out, straight-up war. And then eventually, if Frieza wasn't getting his way, he'd go, Daddy, the Saiyans are not playing ball. Oh, son, don't worry, I'll come up and pick up the pieces for you. And then basically he would do it. And then they would go off and have a glass of wine with each other once they were done. Gobi, what if Goku and Chi-Chi spoke Appalachian English in keeping with their Japanese dialects? Oh, that's a good question.
Interesting.
I don't really know about Appalachian English, to be honest. There's Appalachian English is a variant of American English native to the Appalachian Mountain region of the eastern United States. Again, I'm really not qualified to answer that, like, hillbilly, apparently.
Oh, gosh.
Well, technically, like, the dub sort of does that a little bit, with Goku sounding informal, but the Japanese, I mean, Masako Nozawa gives, like, Goku a very, like, country bumpkin accent. Like, a lot of
he talks very, very hick for a Japanese person.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't really tell much because we don't speak Japanese natively. But that's pretty much what, you know, there's that. So basically, I mean, hearing Chi-Chi is like somewhat like of a sudden bell. That'd be kind of curious.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting. ARKIMA RYUU. Hello everyone. Well, I know Ranch and Trunks are a thing. What if my and Goten became a thing? Mainly because my boy needs some love too. Oh, I can imagine, because there is going to be a love triangle eventually. If we ever do get into the teenage world, there is going to be that situation where Mai would confess her love to Trunks.
Oh no, Masako.
I ship Goten with Maron. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a
ship.
good one. No, but
That's my ship.
Trunks would be like, just be like, would let Mai down gently, not be like a jerk or anything like that. Everyone would be there, oh great, Trunks is going to be the guy who like dunks on Mai, but actually is really sweet about it.
I'm imagining Ranch going to Goten and being like angry because Trunks has been like spending so much time with Mai, and she's like, I gotta find a way to make him jealous, and then Goten's like, whoa, don't look at me, we're cousins. So then she has to find some rando to try and make Trunks jealous, and then it blows up in everyone's faces, because that's how rom-coms work.
Exactly. No, don't worry, Red Dragon. If we were going to do a love triangle thing, we will basically just use it to show that love triangles are stupid.
Yes, exactly. Deconstruct the heck out of it, please.
Yeah, no, that's what we would do. We would pull a Toriyama and basically just be like, that would definitely be something that... I can imagine Ranch thinking about it, and then Goten would just be like, no way! I'm not doing that, Ranch. We're cousins, remember? And it's just like, Goten...
I wasn't asking you to do that, Goten! Where's your mind going?
I don't know.
Well, I mean... I mean, you were telling me about it. Why would you tell me about it if you weren't, like, having some kind of plan?
Oh. Alright, let's move on. Okay.
That's not in my contract, Ranch.
We have contracts? What?
Okay.
Okay, Craig Twitchell, what if planet Vegeta was actually destroyed by a meteor? Well, it'd be very funny to the moment where everyone thinks, oh, it was Frieza that did it, and then basically it's no, I would have done. I would have loved to have actually destroyed these monkeys, but that dang blasted asteroid actually got them out of the way. So basically, I would do it. I mean, like, Frieza would just go, oh no, I would absolutely do it. And it would still...
for some reason, that annoying asteroid, and for some reason I imagine this asteroid like Kuribos from the Abridged series, saying, do the la 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 la. You have Frieza. That's an annoying asteroid.
I'll ignore that. PADPARADSCHA, what if Zeno, after seeing how Kepler did, mandated the remaining tournament contestants had to fuse, all given an earring and let the fuses randomize? I feel like the American anime community, or the Dragon Ball fandom in America, would blow up with excitement. Because fusions, cha-ching. Think about all the toys. Think about all, like, those combination toys like we had in the 90s of Power Rangers where you could combine them together. And, like, seriously, the amount of toys you would have would be ridiculous. But ultimately, I think it wouldn't be the worst decision out there. Shark Jumping Walrus. What if Metamora fusion worked more like it did in Steven Universe, with a dance that is unique to each fusion, and it lasting so long as the fighters are in sync instead of a time limit? Well, Goku and Vegeta's... Gogeta would only last 5 seconds.
Yeah, Gogeta would be about as effective as any attempts early on made by Amethyst and Pearl. It would take a lot to get them thinking on the same wavelength. You'd really need...
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, you'd probably need a scenario very similar to what got Amethyst and Pearl to fuse in Steven Universe, is you'd need their children to be threatened and them to have to, like, get serious and on the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly.
And go thanks to everyone's horror would never end.
No, definitely. Okay. AXELJADE, what if Goku grew up in the Frieza Force? Only condition is that he hits his head and turns good anyway, but in space and under Frieza's employment. I don't know. I feel like if Goku would eventually he would toe the line, But I think he would try and like bring down the Frieza Force from within when he actually can realize that he is like working for a tyrant. Probably like initially like trying to save some people that were like on planets. Like instead of just allowing them to be all destroyed, he would try and like rescue some of them away. And then he would slowly build up like contacts with people that can actually try and bring Frieza down and stuff. It'd be
Also,
like
guys, it's not like, you know, the hit on the head, you know, turned him good immediately. It's like, it's more like it made him more placid. And thanks to that, you know, Grandpa Gohan was able to turn him good. Not that.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way Roshi described it, he hit his head, and when he finally woke up, he was a kind and loving boy.
I mean, do you really believe Roshi?
No, of course not.
Since when we consider Master Roshi a reliable narrator?
Well, I mean, he is well over 300 years old. He's probably the most reliable we're gonna get as far as first-hand accounts go in the show.
Yeah.
Also, I think Goku would need to have, you know, a mentor that would be kinda not terrible as a member of Frieza Force. I'm thinking of Limo, you know, or Lemo, because he was there for a long time and he seemed like pretty okay and honorable guy for a Frieza Force person.
No,
well, I mean, you kind of get the feeling that like Lemo, Chilai, people like them joined the Frieza Force because they had no other alternatives.
Yeah.
For them, it was either like, you know, a life living on the street, trying to steal to survive, or it was join. It's kind of similar to the way that a lot of people wind up emotionally and mentally like manipulated or whatever into joining the military, especially in the United States. You wind up in a situation where you've got no other options, and you're like, okay, well, will this get me a place where I can live and a steady paycheck? Okay, I guess that's what I'm doing then, you know.
No, I would say that's pretty much right. Okay, Heartless Fang. What if Gohan went back in time to teach Saiyans about Ki and how to be scholars? Oh, well, basically say, and remember, kids, you know, a conference a day keeps the doctor away. Like, conference. Oh, no, he would do these. Teaching sessions like conferences. That's what he would do. But oh no, but basically, if he did, he would teach the Saiyans about Ki and like the importance of like control and like reason and stuff. Try and like make them a bit more like a placid people, sort of like the Universe 6 Saiyans. So,
depending on the era, they might backstab him really badly.
But then again, he'd be really, really powerful and stuff, so like he'd be able to like stop it. He'd just be like disappointed. They try and attack him. He just comes like, now, that's not how you're supposed to behave. The correct way would be like this. And it's like, but we threw every single attack at him and it didn't faze him. That's what you get when you try to be a sourpuss. Okay. Joe the Medical. Did you see they found the Harmony Gold dub of Dragon Ball? Yes, indeed. I managed to find it. It's actually on public archives, but I've downloaded the 5 episodes anyway from that public domain source because, you know, you never know. It might be good to make a video on it one day. PADPARADSCHA. What if Chaozu survived and went to Namek? I feel like if I ever had a scenario that Chaozu survived, I would definitely make use of his telekinetic powers to be able to like whisk Dende away. Like just Dende floats away for some reason, and then basically gets out of the clutches of Dodoria. It's basically use Chaozu's magic. He has the magic. Use it. Well,
He's pretty compact. He can fit on the ship nicely.
Yes, exactly. We don't know. Yeah, and yeah, he'd be a very good cook. You know, he'd be able to, whatever rations they had, they'd be able to come up with good meals. RYUU, Masako, since Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 is finally out, would you ever consider giving it to Ranch and Raditz? And would you mind if I go ahead and design Xeno Raditz and Ranch just for fun? Well, ARKIMA, go for it. If you want to come up with the Xeno versions, be my guest. Just, you know, tag me in Twitter so that means I can actually have a look at it. And Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4, probably not in the main timeline because I feel like it's just a little bit more muddled. And honestly, when they were actually like teasing that, I was like, if they're gonna be doing what Trev came up with Super Saiyan 5, somebody's watching what we're doing. I was very interested to see what they would actually do.
But it's more boring.
Yeah, no, it's actually like, oh, okay. It's just like, it literally is just a limit break. Oh. It's like, but we sort of saw that before, like with, we saw that before with, what's the word? With Full Power Super Saiyan 4, when like in GT, they basically gave, oh, what's the word? They gave Goku all their energy, and basically then he had a limit break, effectively. So it's already sort of been done. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. PADPARADSCHA, what if adult Gohan convinced Goku to open a dojo? I feel like they would have to find some way of, like, telling Goku that, oh, we'll have, like, some, like, other masters, and you only get to, like, train one person at a time. Like, the strongest out of them lot. That'd be the only way, because Goku only does one-on-one.
Yeah, Goku really doesn't have the patience, I think, for teaching. Even when it came to Gohan, like, Gohan was an exception because Gohan is A, his son, and B, also Saiyan and very durable because of it. So Goku didn't have to go like super light. If he opened a dojo, he'd be dealing with, like, you know, human men, women, children, etc. He'd be dealing with humans who are already a lot more squishy by comparison to Saiyans.
Yeah.
But he'd also not be able to really divide his attention up between multiple people very well. So I think it would be more likely that if Goku was to teach anybody martial arts, he would do it the Master Roshi way, where he has one, maybe two students, so that he can compete, so that he can pit them against each other competitively to see their growth. But I really don't think Goku's that amazing of a teacher.
No.
I mean, the main reason he succeeds with Gohan is almost purely just because of the way Super Saiyan kind of functions. You know, they fight, they beat each other up a whole lot, and then he has Gohan experience trauma to achieve his transformation. So, if you really want to talk like teachers, shoot, man, like,
yeah, I think he might be an interesting mentor for Kale and Caulifla, though. I think he could work with them.
Well, yeah, because they're Saiyans. They could handle a Saiyan teacher approaching it from a Saiyan perspective.
Yeah. Okay, Gobi. Oh, Lost Legacy. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Okay, Gobi. What if the Earthlings spoke in British accents, with Goku and Chi-Chi having the sing-song Southern Wales Valley accents? Honestly, that would be very, very cute. And I imagine if there was, like, ever a period drama, they would do that. Like, basically, resorting to that kind of, like, neutral British accent like they do with, like, many period dramas. But honestly, Goku having a Welsh accent, that'd be funny. That'd be interesting. And hey, I would love to see an American voice actor try and do a Welsh accent. And, like, not Greg Ayres copping out in Negima. Because Negi Springfield is from Wales. And actually,
how does a Welsh accent sound?
Well, quite frankly here, I mean, this is basically a very, very cartoonified Welsh accent here. But basically, it always sounds a bit more of a sing-song thing, right, you see? And it's like, I actually were planning to do a Negima abridged back in the day. Because I was really annoyed that Greg Ayres
because you really wanted to give him a real accent.
Well, you see, my name is Negi Springfield, you see. I'm the lovable wizard who hails from Wales. that would have been the catchphrase. He would have been the lovable wizard who hails from Wales. You know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Alright, Craig Twitchell. What if Gohan became a loan shark? Basically, he would use it to try and, like, pay off, like, all of his, like, student loans and stuff. So basically, you go the Family Guy route of, like, Gohan go, like, where's my money? Where's my money? Like, but honestly, though, it'd be just one of those things. He'd be too smart for his own good, and then basically, ultimately, you know, people would just give him money. I mean, sort of like that, maybe?
Gohan, ape man from Wall Street.
Yeah. PADPARADSCHA. If Bulma joins the Freezer Force, it's only a matter of how long it takes her to take control of all the systems, plus enough time to be trusted to look. Absolutely, that's what we said, PADPARADSCHA. Absolutely. And PADPARADSCHA also says you should add a Sophie sound. Go to the corner.
Go to the corner.
We'll probably record that, and we'll probably record that off stream and do that.
Yes.
How do I shot web? Thank you for your super chat. And wow, that is an old meme. That's like circa 2010. How do I shot web? Man, that's an old one. Craig Twitchell, what if Ox King was a descendant tuffle? It'd have to be way, way back because Ox King's a beast. It's like, well, it turns out that I actually have tuffle blood from like 10 generations ago. That would explain why I'm so big. But basically, it would be that. It'd be basic, but it would just, like, it would have to be very, very, very distant. Okay, Craig, can I be a proper character in one of your what ifs? Well, pay close attention, Craig, because there is a what if coming up soon that you do get a name drop, just so you know. So it's sort of like that, really. All right, Craig Twitchell again. What if Vegeta and Nappa never went to Earth? Well, if they never went to Earth, then, you know, everyone would have learnt the Kaioken and stuff. They basically, Goku gets back and say, alright guys, it's time to fight the Saiyans. Where did they go? They never showed up. Wait, what? Oh man! The end.
You know, Nappa, on second thought, let's not go to Earth. It's a silly place.
Yes, on second thought, Nappa, let's not go to Earth. It's a silly place. Gotta love the Holy Grail thing there.
Can you imagine making the Dragon Ball like entire Frieza saga in Monty Python style?
Oh. But then again, you know, leading up from that song, we are the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah.
Our scenarios are formidable. I'd almost want to like come up with like get like an instrumental of that and just come up with that's our song, that's our jingle.
Yeah.
We just like change the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And then just fit the round table with Tarball and Terrible.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Hey, it's a Monty Python parody. It's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
What if Bardock actually was a brilliant scientist? Well, we did answer this earlier, but basically he would have a Slavic accent, as is per the course with the dub now, apparently.
Be an actually interesting character.
He would actually be interesting. It would give him something else.
Yeah, it would give him a more interesting backstory than I was basically an elite, which already goes against canon, that had my entire squad destroyed, and I was angry and wanted vengeance, and then I died because canon dictates that I died.
Yeah,
and I can see the future.
Also, Masako, did you skip over What If Ranch unlocked Super Saiyan Primal? Also from Craig Twitchell.
We're just about to get to that now.
Oh, okay.
But basically, I just wanted to get the Bardock actual scientist thing done because we'd already covered that. But Ranch unlocking Super Saiyan Primal. I'm guessing that's Super Saiyan Rage. Let me just remind myself of that.
Primal is
it's like is it like Wrathful, bro? Oh, no, basically it's Super Saiyan Primal. I think it's the Super Saiyan Primal is a powerful and relentless form that is unlocked when the user experiences great rage. So basically, if like that, probably she'd have to have something really bad to happen to her. Basically, I'd have to try and figure out what it would be. The closest thing I could possibly think of is basically when Launch falls, or basically is seen to fall in the Boo Saga in the What If. That's the closest point at the moment. But we'll have to see. Dark Cloud Alpha. What if through Wish hijinks, Goku Black was accidentally turned into Kid Goku Black? I'm off to work. Have a good work day, everyone. I'll have you do too.
I love this one. Oh my gosh, I love this one.
Let's do this for a lightning round.
Yes. I absolutely adore this one. This one is amazing. Well, you see, Vegeta. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you from up there.
you'll get to flex some attempts to Kid Goku Masako as Kid Goku as Zamasu's Kid Goku Black.
How would sound, Kid Goku Rose?
Yeah, how would you do Kid Goku Rose?
Rose.
Probably it's like, well, this kind of Goku, my Kid Goku would pretty much be up here and stuff. But basically, it would almost be like this, so I almost sound like a preppy school person, or what Greg Ayres does as Negima from the Negima series, which isn't Welsh. Subarashi!
Yeah. Let's use Kid Goku Black Welsh accent for some reason.
Sort of.
Super Saiyan Welsh.
Well, basically, I'll play the excellent sound because Haverock likes this.
Yeah.
I'll play that for him. Eventually. Come on, load.
Excellent.
There we go. I love that sound.
I got those sounds on my on a TeamSpeak channel that I like, that me and my friends have, and I have my personal soundboard there, and they are sick of it, and I absolutely love it. By torturing them with those sounds.
Oh yeah. Okay. Soulfan Gaming. What if Pan goes Super Saiyan? Well, we all want that to happen, really. And I feel like if eventually you get to a point where we age up Pan, I think she will definitely go Super Saiyan. Absolutely. It's a matter of time.
If you wanted to make it fun, right? I would actually have like I would write, if it were me in charge, I would want to write a scenario where Pan experiences her trauma real young, because she's already shown to be like super powerful even as an infant, right? So clearly she's got enough going on that she's probably already at or around the power threshold for achieving the transformation. So she only really needs that one little push. So maybe you write a scenario where, like, say, like, all of the adults, right, or something. Actually, there's a good comparison. Like, there's an episode of Young Justice, the animated series, where all of the adults and children, basically everyone under the age of 18 and everyone who is 18 or older, get shunted into parallel realities where only the kids and only the adults exist. So write a scenario where the kids wind up in a situation where they have to rely on themselves, but ultimately the trauma of the experience is what leads Pan to be the one to ultimately save the day by becoming a Super Saiyan at like age 6 or something like that, right?
Yeah. That sounds cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. We should probably make a note of that, and we'll eventually do that, like, once we finish the more what ifs. Craig Twitchell, what if Goku and Frieza fused in the Tournament of Power? That would certainly be a very interesting fusion, that's for sure. But basically, it would just be almost like a very sort of contrived way of showing how they can work together. It would mainly be just pure fan service, really. Como 101, what if Goku lost his powers for a while, being no stronger or tougher than a regular human of his height and build? How would that affect him? Well, we sort of got that vibe. We sort of got that vibe when he had that key syndrome after the Universe 6 tournament. Basically, he was a bit out of sorts, really, and he basically, and even like with the time when he got shot, really, he basically would have that. It would have been like really, really strange to him. Probably like almost be a good way of like a bit of a leveler, almost kind of like realizing where he's come from and stuff.
I think he could like it because he could then fight with more people evenly. He could go and take part in a World Martial Arts tournament without having to.
True.
It would be a fun challenge for him, I think, because he'd also have to realize, like, he's gotten rusty at a lot of his basic martial arts concepts, right? Like, if you depower someone like Goku, who's become very, very used to fighting, like, using flight, fighting at high speeds that like the human eye can't really even catch, throwing ki blasts around willy-nilly. If you depower someone like that, right, they have to go back to the fundamentals. And I think it would be interesting because you could have him go to Roshi or even go to like Tien or something. Or heck, if it's like a spirit problem or like a key control problem, one of the characters who was always like the best at key control, which is why he was able to, like, his signature thing was the spirit ball, was Yamcha. So like you could have him go back and have to like relearn some of the fundamentals of fighting from Yamcha until they figure out how to like reverse the issues with his powers.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, Papa Podo. In any what if where Frieza gets immortality, it's not bad end because Frieza lands on Earth. I, the immortal Lord Frieza, will now conquer your planet, and nobody can stop me. Mafuba! Mafu what? Roshi uses the Mafuba, saves the day. You know that subversion would potentially happen.
I was getting tired of this guy showing up every couple of years.
Somebody had to do something. Alright.
Every time gets in the way of my programs, these villains attack Earth. What happens? They destroy the television stations.
Andres Marrero. Why not Nappa Chaozu? What if Nappa Chaozu permanent fusion? Brain, Born, and Baldness. The triple Bs or the triple Bs. Oh, Nappa and Chaozu fusion. Oh man. Hey Vegeta! Look! I'm a Pokemon now.
You're only half a Pokemon, Nappa.
Hey Vegeta, look! I can use Hyper Beam! Bah!
You're a monster, a freak.
Yes.
A monster in your pocket, Vegeta.
Hey, I killed Vegeta! Never say those words again, Nappa. Okay. Red Dragon Force wishes Thunder Student a belated birthday. Well, happy birthday to you too, Thunder Student, from when it was. Craigian, what if someone wished for the Z team to have immortality? Well, I think a lot of people, the humans would definitely not be too bothered about it. I think the Saiyans would be a bit annoyed though, because it'd be like, well, you know, it's unfair. We want to earn it. So mixed bag really, but I know that Yamcha would be extremely happy about it. Roshi would be just like, same old. I'm basically gonna live forever anyway. It's like, it's nothing special.
Immortality's not hard to achieve. These whippersnappers just don't want to put in the legwork.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's so lazy nowadays.
Exactly right. Okay. Flash Frozen. What if the Universe 7 Saiyans were stuck in Universe 6 or vice versa? Well, we do want that arc because it's been promised for so long. Are we ever going to get it? I don't know. But if we did, there has to be some sort of like hidden thing in Sadala Universe 6 that only the Universe 7 Saiyans can solve. We basically need that. That and Vegeta and Kaba training as well as Goku and Caulifla. We need some more of that.
Or the Vegeta meeting King Sadala. Also fun.
Exactly. We need some of that. And PADPARADSCHA, what if Yamcha learned and fought with Poir's shapeshifting? Oh, he would definitely use that. He would definitely use that. So he'd be like, hey, Tenshinhan, look! I'm you! Ha! I'm really, really strong and serious all the time! He'd do it to play pranks. He'd just impersonate everybody. I can imagine him being really, really pathetic and pretending to be Vegeta and going to Bulma. It's like, hey babe, I'll show you a good time, my dude. That's weird. Vegeta doesn't say dude. It's like, it's just, I'm on Earth and I'm just chilling out with my homies. Yes, and then Cat Loves Food song comes out and it's like, mustn't react to the song. Mustn't react. Don't.
But in the end, I think Yamcha would do something brave, like like impersonating one of the androids and making Cell go after him.
Oh yeah, no, totally. In the end, he would get serious. He definitely would. I think he would certainly. Anyway, that is all the what ifs that we have for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your contributions. I hope that you look forward to the next video that's going to be coming out, which is going to be the Good Ginus Part 2. That'll be coming out on Saturday. Yep. That'll be good. And then on Monday, we are going to have a special Part 0 of the Gine story. Help give you some context and basically like some Gine X Bardock stuff. And it's really sad because I wanted to do Lemon in it, like just some like nice, tasteful stuff. But, you know, hashtag YT being YT and all that. I have to find another outlet for that.
I don't think that's ever a phrase I thought I'd hear you utter. I wanted to do lemon in it. Also, hey. Man, that is a blasphemy.
Oh god, it happened again. Is that what happened when Sophie gets excited? Like, no, seriously. Yes. No, guys, like, this isn't new. I've had to read bad fan fiction for, like, 6 years of my life. And I basically... There was this bad, like, Naruto X One Piece thing. Basically, it was like... It was lemon, but it was really bad lemon. It was like, oh, man. Oh, no, Sophie fell off. And she says in all caps, damn it! Oh, man, she really wanted to have something to say. Oh, man, the timing was perfect with that one. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I mean... we'll wait a little bit just to bring her back on, but oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Andros, we were just about to finish up, but we'll tackle your one quickly. Oh, Soph, you're back.
Yeah. We are getting
okay.
From Andros. Yeah. So what did you want to say? Quickly.
Well, all I was saying was just the fanfic thing about I don't think fanfic smut's been called lemon for so long, and I was just kind of losing my crap over it.
No, it's just because with my bad fanfiction theater, I heard that's where I heard it from, basically, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, and also, you know, it's not gonna get me demonetized. So there you go. If you just describe it as lemon.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry for using the other word then.
No, we didn't hear it because like. Your Discord got excited and like quit loads of times. Yeah. But anyway,
man,
we do have one more what if because it just came up at the last minute. What if Janemba turned good? Here's the thing: there's been 2 so far in the Fusion Reborn and Super Dragon Ball Heroes. One on a new Janemba created good positive energy. Well, it's not kind of the point of Janemba. He's meant to be basically, unless it's like based on like a derivation of the like familiar. It's an older reference, so it checks out. But basically it would just be a sense of just a different like transformation, like maybe the way that Goku hits first form Janemba actually creates a better being or something like that, you know, the rule of 3, that could be fairly interesting, sort of that thing. But anyway, we really must be going now, so we really hope that you look forward to Saturday's video, and just take care everybody, and I hope you're all staying safe. Take care, everyone.
Hope you're staying safe.
Have a good rest of
the weekend.
Love y'all.
See ya.
Bye.